What
We're
episode
gone.
is it? Oh, fuck. I said that
155.
just 155, isn't it? 155, guys. Welcome back. TVI. Carl Donnelly here.
Julian Deane here. Is your mic all right there?
Yeah, it's good, man. It's fun, isn't
Testing.
it? Fun.
Hi, everyone.
It's great to be back in the studio, guys.
How was your Oz trip, all right? Glad to be back?
Yeah, it's great, man. It's great to be back. I left my body in Australia.
Your Wi-Fi just tripped then?
Did it? Oh, I'm in a hotel. I'm currently in the Great Southern Hotel in Sydney, which is
What
a
room?
very old hotel.
What's your room number?
402. For any little pieces that are knocking around Sydney.
Any little sweet things walking around the roads?
Any TV ass scrunt in Sydney on a pot bar.
Want to come and eat some meat?
That's disgusting.
Some meat alternative.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very old hotel. Like for Australia, obviously, nothing's really that old, but this hotel's like 120 years old or something. It's obviously been
Fucking hell,
developed
does it
since.
stink?
It's all just corpses piled up everywhere.
It just smells of damp. Where is it in?
Just loads of ghosts.
Is it in? So it's in Sydney, yeah, in the centre bit.
Yeah, so it's right in the centre. It's it's right next to Central Station, so it's near Surrey Hills. Yeah, sort of. There's near Chinatown.
Oh, down them ends.
Yeah. But it's I forgot. I do like Sydney. I always forget because I love Melbourne so much. I always think I don't love Sydney, and I think that's because there's that weird rivalry. But then every time I come to Sydney, within about 10 minutes, I'm like, I fucking love this city. It's wicked.
I haven't been there for since the 90s, mate.
Yeah.
I bet it's changed. What's
Back when
that
you were in- back when you were
rumbling?
in-
Yes, I'm just texting the bar staff to say stop throwing
Oh, is it your
kegs
end?
around downstairs.
Just before I zoomed in, there was a. Do you know them?
Earthquake.
You know them things that they spray chewing gum off the pavement with.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
one of them outside the hotel, and I looked out, and the guy was just like for about 10 minutes before we started recording. I was like, it's going to ruin everything. But luckily, the issue is at your end.
That might be
But,
like community service work, is it?
Oh, yeah, it could be actually.
Unless I just insulted that guy's career.
It's just an actual job. Oh man, you go up to him and go, "Oh fuck, man, what are you in for?"
He's like, well, I did a master's degree in chewing gum. I'm a doctor of pavements.
Oh shit, man,
What'd you
what
do,
happened?
man?
What'd you get caught doing? My
You want a
job.
tag or what? In your dream job.
I was just saying before we hit record, I've since you told me about it, and I'd had no interest.
What, the
I've started
Johnny
watching
Depp?
some clips of the Johnny
yeah.
Depp thing, man. But it is quite compelling.
It's amazing. Like, did you see
You're
where
right.
their lawyer...
The Heard lawyers are shit, mate.
but their case is quite bad.
Did you see the one where they interrupted themselves?
He said, objection.
Yeah.
You asked the
Objected
question. Oh, sorry. When he went, so you poured yourself a mega pint.
Yeah. A mega pint of wine.
He was like, a mega pint? It's funny.
Well,
Were you
Johnny
there?
Depp, yeah, Johnny Depp's responses are very funny.
Yeah.
But
That bit,
they've
have you
just
seen the
had
bit
the-
where he keeps going like, "Did I read that correctly?" And Johnny Depp goes, "You read it beautifully."
Yeah.
Just fucking digging him out, mate.
I mean, they're grasping at straws, man. It's a hard client to have, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, if it is, because she's been diagnosed with a what's it called? Borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
In a fucking div she's been diagnosed with.
So in a way, people have probably been a little bit over mean, aren't they? If she's actually got
And
a
also we
mental
don't.
disorder.
I mean, it is that thing. It sounds like they had a very toxic relationship. The two of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think
he is
there
coming
that.
off like an angel at the moment, but we'll see.
It is funny when
Go on.
one set of lawyers have their go and everyone just they're like, yeah, he's a bastard. And I'm like, this is how trials work. Like
Yeah,
one
yeah,
half
yeah.
happens
Yeah.
and then the other half
course.
happens.
That's
know.
what I mean. Like, I actually think he's not given a good account of himself From what we've heard, like does sound like they had a horrible relationship and they were both gross to each other. But
But
it just
he
sounds like
doesn't-
she has fabricated a lot of stuff.
Well,
That
part
seems
of
to be the issue
part of
here.
her condition is exaggerating and being a
Right.
victim. So she's
Okay.
unwell, maybe at the moment. Anyway, we'll see how the trial unfolds, mate. I want to get up as a witness.
Say what? I just love Pirates of the Caribbean.
Just say, yeah, I thought it was great. I saw the first one, yeah.
So
That's
can,
hearsay.
can we play the tape, please? Julian's going and calling parlay in the court.
Walking
Play the
like
tape, please, and it's
Sparrow.
literally just they put on Pirates of the Caribbean 2. I'm like, yeah, cool, man. Just keep this playing.
With some
The
extra
defense
work.
rests.
I'll play a
That's what I'd say.
squid.
Citing articles from the Pirates Code.
That'd be cool, though, man. But the doctor they had in was really good. She was his best witness, man.
And what was she saying? I don't know. What was the doctor there for?
Well, she was there to diagnose Amber. She did a mental assessment on Amber.
Oh, really? Fuck.
And it didn't look good, man.
Right.
For Amber's case, anyway.
Are they going to
It's
get? I presume her lawyers surely are not. Are they not going to call a doctor to counter that and say she's fine?
I don't think they have. But they.
Okay, that's a
they-
bad sign.
I mean, yeah, like
It's like, yeah, we couldn't. We just looked in the yellow pages. We couldn't find
they
any
just went
doctors.
that would lie. But she's a really qualified doctor. Like the first 20 minutes was her CV, and
Right.
she's really good.
Like
yeah.
when somebody reads out your credits before
Yeah,
they bring
yeah.
you on stage.
She's done live at the Apollo.
Dave's one night stand.
She won,
Edinburgh and Beyond in '98.
she won the gong. in February.
Semi-final and the amusement
finalist.
joke of the fringe, third place.
4 stars Broadway, baby.
Red like a 5.
Oh fuck. But yeah, well, how long is it going on for? Do we know yet? Is it just ongoing?
Yeah, it's ongoing until they don't really know.
Is
They
there-
don't set
is
a
it-
time. It's
Is
towards
there
the.
a
It's the
jury?
yeah, there's a
Or
jury.
is-
Yeah.
Oh, there is a jury. Okay.
How do you get an impartial jury for that?
I mean, you don't. I
Oh,
suppose.
yeah, it's true. Actually, it's hard. You just got to check. You basically just got to check everyone's Netflix and see they
Yeah, I
haven't
know.
watched any of their films. Because what's she been in? She was in like Aquaman and shit, isn't she? I've only seen
Yeah.
her in a couple of things.
Yeah, I
let's
don't
check
know.
her-
I do feel for her a
check her
bit. Though.
creds.
She's got like
Shall I do the Googling?
genuine, yes,
Um,
please. Genuine
yeah,
like
I've got
mental
a-
health issue.
Yes, I know she was on
What's he-
Aquaman because someone on Twitter called her Aqua Bitch.
I mean, that mental health
Oh.
issue is basically you're diagnosed as a cunt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so Mr. Julian, Mr. Deane, we've got your results back. Cunt.
Yeah, we're just going to deliberate with some other doctors. I want a second opinion. I'm an arsehole, not a cunt.
You just get a text from the clinic going, you just big letters.
Cunt
Tested positive for
positive.
being a cunt.
You're going to have to stay in for 10 days and think about your life.
Well, she's been in quite a lot.
Has she? Yeah.
Actually,
In fact, all the way back to 2004, Friday Night Lights.
Has she,
Oh,
Has
that's
she done
where she
any-
came from, of course.
Yeah.
has she done any porn or anything?
That's
A
not on
mate of mine wants to
Wikipedia.
know.
We've got Pineapple Express. She was in. She.
Yes.
The Rum Diary. 3
That's
Days
where
to
they
Kill,
met.
Magic Mike XXL. The Danish
Oh,
Girl.
have you seen Magic Mike XXL?
No.
What is it?
It is,
Magic Mike number
it is-
2?
Yeah. It's absolutely terrible, and I say that as somebody who really likes the first one.
Oh, did
It's
you?
not an
A
ironic
film
way. I
about
think it's
male
brilliant.
strippers is terrible.
Yeah. No, but the first film is really good. It's it's a Steven Soderbergh film, and it's about men. It's more about sort of masculinity than it is about male strippers. It's about these sad guys that
it's
trying to
about us
hold on to their
kings.
youth. It's a really interesting look at men. But then the second one is literally just here's those same guys just dancing,
This
and
is,
it's like
about
they-
men too, but they're a bit older.
Yeah.
but the second one feels like it's made for the people that didn't enjoy the first one for what it is as a film, but just enjoyed the bits of Channing Tatum dancing, and it's like that's a weird way to take a
I'll have to watch it then. I didn't know it was targeted at me.
They made the second one for like the hen parties, basically.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
I must have. Did I ever tell you about when me and Chris Martin
We're strippers.
we did we used to get our dicks out for hen-dos. But no, we did a screening of Magic Mike at the exhibit in Balham, and it was when we used to do the podcast, and then we used to always talk about Magic Mike, and we did a screening for listeners. We were like, we're going to do a funny screening of Magic Mike where we do like an intro, talk about it, then we watch it and have a few drinks, and it sold out in like half an hour. So we were like, that's good. All the podcast listeners have got on it. And then it turned, people were like messaging saying, we couldn't get tickets. And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, it's sold out. When we got there on the night, it was only a tiny cinema that seats like 40 people.
I've gigged in that room. It's nice.
It's lovely. There was a group of 30 that had booked one group of tickets. And it was a bunch of women drinking Prosecco. And we we said to them, do you listen to the podcast? They were like, I don't know what podcast you're talking about. We just saw that Magic Mike was going to be screened. And we were like, we were going to do like an intro. And basically what happened was they had no idea who we were. They just wanted to get shit-faced and watch Magic Mike. So me and Chris basically said to the other people that were there who listened to the podcast, look, guys, this isn't going to be what we said it was going to be. There's no point us doing like a half an hour intro to Magic Mike when these women just want to get shit-faced and watch it. So what we did was just get bottles of Prosecco and shared it with them and all watch Magic Mike.
Then fucked them all after.
Just got gobbled off in a cinema.
That's how I met my wife anyway. And
we basically ended up just watching Magic Mike with a bunch of women.
I mean, that's a good little business.
Yeah, it was
Amber
nice.
Heard was on Top Gear as the star in a reasonably priced car.
What is that? I don't know what that means. I've never watched Top Gear.
Oh, really? So they get celebrities to do a lap in like a Vauxhall Astra.
Oh, and they mark it up, like who's the fastest and stuff.
Yeah.
Was she fast?
Lots of people have done that.
Yeah. And by then, Jeremy
her time?
Clarkson's written an article this week saying she came on to get more fame, and she's always.
Well, who doesn't go on
Exactly.
TV shows?
Yeah, that's weird, going on a television show to get more fame. What a rude bitch.
I don't think that's a fault of hers, like wanting to be famous. Like that's what she wants to do.
What does he think people go on Top Gear to meet him, for fuck's sake?
I know. To drive an Astra.
He's
just really wanted to meet James May.
Yeah. And that other one
Two
who
of my dreams
almost
driving
died
a fucking
in a speed
Astra.
racer.
Meeting
Who was
Richard
the other
Hammond.
guy?
Richard Hammond.
Richard Hammond, that's his name. He's the one who almost
Stuart Lee
died.
always talks about him, the hamster.
He
Yeah,
did.
he had a
He
car
did that
crash
routine
on
about
Hammond.
him that he got in trouble about, didn't he?
Yeah, can't remember the exact routine.
Did he get in?
I can't
did he?
either. Yeah. He I can't remember what he said. He was basically, it was a piss take about Richard Hammond, but at the time when Richard Hammond had almost died in a car crash, people thought he was being a bit mean.
Stephen
I thought it
Grant
really
was
funny.
going to be that guy, Richard Hammond's guy in the show, wasn't he? Years
Oh,
ago.
wow.
He got to the
Yes, I
final
did hear
bit.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a lucky escape, mate. You'd have ended up fucking spread across a runway.
Fucking Stuart Lee has launched an extraordinary attack on Top Gear presenter Richard Hammond, saying he wishes he had been decapitated in the high-speed crash that nearly cost him his
I think that is slightly out of context.
I mean, but then Stuart Lee's confronted and he'll say it was just a character or something. He's been confronted
No,
before,
but
hasn't he?
Yeah.
I remember the joke. The joke was there was definitely a context to that. It wasn't him just saying, I wish he'd been decapitated. That is so out of context. It's
Yeah,
it's from the Daily Mail. Like, it's
Unreal.
not.
Yeah, true. I don't know why I'm backing cancel culture.
Yeah. Just fucking trying to bring down Stuart Lee, mate. Finally. Somebody's going to take him down a pig or two. But anyway, what else is going on? What's
really what he wants. What else is going on? I've just been binging on The Trial, man.
that it?
Watching that, mate. 3 p.m.
I've just watched I've not been. I literally have only just been watching clips in the last 2 days. I've just watched a series. I'm up to. I watched 4 episodes of it because I'm on my own in Sydney. I've just got loads of time to kill. I watched 4 episodes of a thing called Moon Knight. Has anyone seen Moon Knight?
Any good?
Is it the superhero thing?
It's I like the look of it because it didn't look too superhero-y. It's a Marvel thing on Disney Plus, and it's I'm not sure about it. It's what's his name? What's the guy? Oscar someone who's in like loads of
Pistorius.
stuff. Yeah, it's a biopic of him shooting up the bathroom.
He's out on a tag now, isn't he, apparently?
Is he? Where did they put it? Put it around his neck.
Put it around his forehead. I don't know what's happening with that, really. I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
God.
Oscar Isaac is the guy. Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaacs. Is that true that Pistorius is out? I didn't know that.
No, I was joking.
Oh, right. Okay. How long is it? What's his latest?
legs.
How long is he in prison for?
I don't know, man. I don't
Must be
know.
done.
I don't even know what's happened with that.
Let's check it. We need to know. We need information on this because I did.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't he get?
Is
Did he
still
get guilty
inside?
or not? Did he get guilty on it?
I thought he did.
Is Oscar Pistorius still in jail, and when's his release date? He was found guilty in 2015.
Was that a civil
Right.
case though, or a criminal case? Because I don't.
South Africa's Supreme Court of guilty of culpable homicide. It was later changed to murder, actually, so it went up to the Supreme
And
Court.
how long
which is
did he
murder.
do, or is he doing?
In October 2015, Pistorius was released after just a year in jail.
They don't mind murder there, do they?
Served the rest of his sentence under house arrest at his uncle Arnold's home. in
Murder's like a petty
Pretoria.
crime. It's like littering.
What?
Just did 3 weeks in prison. Go blow chewing gum off a pavement for 6
Oh, then
months.
he's moved around, man.
So what house arrest?
He got sentenced to 6 years in 2015, released after a year to house arrest, and then he moved to Cushy Atteridgeville prison, surrounded by acres of lush gardens.
That's not the
and
full
trees.
name, is it? Cushy. Cushy Atterville prison.
And then November 24th, 2017, the former athlete had a sentence increased to 15 years, meaning he had 13 years and 5 months left to serve. So he is still
That's
behind
quite rare,
bars.
isn't it? That they add years on. Normally, it's like you get years taken off for good behaviour. They're like, now we're going to chuck some on because we're
Maybe
Gonna double it.
Maybe he was being really bold.
Yeah. Fuck. So he's still inside now then?
Yeah, there was a guy I met at the Fringe in 2019 who was a Paralympic athlete, and I remember I met him, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, tell him about like your records," because he was like this really, and he'd moved into stand-up comedy, kind of talking about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah," like somebody was like, "Oh, he broke all of Pistorius's records," and I was like, "He killed 2 women."
Oh God. Anyway,
it's sad
it's
though,
good
isn't it?
to
Her
know
family
that-
and stuff.
I know, yeah, it's brutal. I mean, I followed bits of that trial at the time, and he came across bad. I know he was trying to play that it was like all a accident, but it was like, no, man, this sounds fucking like you were not a good guy at all. You had previous.
Because he got into the Olympics. He was one of the first Paralympic athletes to compete in the Olympics. And it was so funny because he'd spent all his career like trying to vouch to be like treated the same as everybody else. And then the trial came and he was like, I'm just a little man who's disabled.
Yeah.
He was immediately flipped and played up to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice angle, Oscar. Well played, King. Nice chess move. The King's just watching from the side, admiring him. I mean, it's brutal, isn't it? What did he do? Shoot through a bathroom door?
Through the bathroom door, yeah. And he said he thought it was a burglar. And I was like, shut up.
What, having a shit? Is that what he thought? The burglar was in the bathroom hiding?
Having a shower?
Yeah.
I mean, at least wait until it's probably not true, is it?
Nah,
So why was he
I don't
shooting
think
her
so.
then in a jealous rage or something? He saw me in
dunno.
her DMs. Shine my legs off. She's more of a
I want to
leg
see what you're
sleeve.
missing out on. Have a look at these shins.
Look at his calves flexing it.
She's just had a foot fetish.
Her poor family, though. Fucking hell.
I know it is. It's hard to go back into being sincere after that, but it's it was.
I'm just bipolar, mate.
Yeah.
I'm insulting people with bipolar. I didn't mean to.
You're just waiting for your Amber Heard diagnosis to come through.
She's a fit ting, bruv. Positively. Yeah, I don't think people should be too cruel now. You know, let's see how the trial plays out. People are being... Like, there's a petition to change her name to Amber Turd. And it's got like 200,000 signatures.
I don't think she's going to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
might
exactly.
not.
I think she has to get the final
She
say
said
in
once
that.
it
Unless
gets
she
to
set up the
300, she
petition.
will, yeah.
What do you
I
reckon
doubt
numbers
she'll
was
do
it had
that.
to get to before she considered it?
About 100 million.
Yeah, I reckon that's about right.
Should do it probably for
That's-
10 mil cash.
I'd change my name to anything for 10 million cash.
Yeah.
Innit? Change it to Amber Heard.
I would say that right now. If somebody said to me, change your name to fucking Adolf
Shit-face.
Mussolini, fucking Idi Amin, I'd be like, yes, please.
Would you change it to the N word for 1 mil?
Ooh.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
yeah,
I
of
know,
course I would. I wouldn't tell anyone my name. Obviously, after I change it, I'm not going around
But you'd have to,
introducing
though.
myself to
If you
anyone.
got pulled over by the police or something, you'd have to say your name, your real name, or like at the airport.
Yeah, I just showed them it and say, yeah. I'll show them my driver's license and say, look. And I'll show them my bank balance. But I wouldn't be happy about it. But I think I don't.
Wouldn't
I
you
reckon.
be happy? Wouldn't you be happy to change your name to that?
But you know what I mean. I think. Yeah, I think. I think even black people would understand your decision making if that. I mean, obviously they'd probably ask who was the person
who's
paying
paying
that.
that,
What was
though?
their
Who's-
intentions? Yeah.
What do they want out of life?
Yeah, I'd probably say to him, look, I don't think I'm the issue here. I think that guy might have some ulterior motives.
Can you set that as a tier on your Patreon?
Oh man.
Patreon.com/WeAreTVI.
We are
Donate
TVI,
1 million and
guys.
Carl will change
1 million.
his name.
Oh, God.
Once we hit
That's what I keep seeing
50,000.
people doing that about the Elon Musk thing. When people saying like what he could do for 44 billion, as if they're things that he's a multi-billionaire he's just buying Twitter because he's on a whim. You know what I mean? As if he's suddenly going to solve world hunger. Like that's part of what he wants to do. If you're the sort of nutter who's going to spend 44 billion on Twitter, I don't think you give a shit about world hunger. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
It's people are
should've
taking
just
that very
downloaded it
seriously,
for
haven't
free.
they? I know. You literally, it's on the App Store, mate. Just so you can get it.
Classic.
You want to change it so much? Get TweetDeck. That's got other fucking options.
I know.
Yeah,
He
I don't really
owns
understand
Twitter
people.
now.
I don't think he does it. I don't think the deal's been done. I think it's still in
I think it's been done.
negotiations.
I think it's been done
Oh,
now.
has it?
Yesterday,
I heard it hasn't been completed, so there's still.
unless that's false rumours.
It hasn't.
I'll get it
Well,
from
'cause I
the.
think
I'll get all my news from the Sunday Sport.
All
I
my
thought it
news
was,
has to
yeah,
be
I don't think
tit
it's been
adjacent.
finalised.
Has Elon Musk
he-
on Twitter?
I heard he did, but
They're nearing a deal. That was
Yeah,
nearing.
it's still It's not been
Okay.
signed.
apparently he's
over
going to
yet.
let Trump back on.
Yeah, I don't know where Twitter gets money. Where do they get money from? Adverts, obviously.
Ads.
advertising
sure.
and advertising
Where's
and
the
data.
adverts
isn't
on?
it? They
I
sell
don't
you
see
data.
adverts on Twitter though.
They're sponsored posts and stuff.
Sponsored posts.
I mean, 44 billion worth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be just data mining, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
where the money's made now in data, isn't it?
Shit, man.
I know. I don't understand it. It all feels so weird and fake, and I don't understand how it can be worth that. Because there's only what is there on there? Like something like, is it 300 million people are on there?
Oh, more than that, I think.
I don't know if it is, or I don't think it's. Yeah, to Google that.
How many Twitter users are there?
10% of the world, is it?
As of the second quarter of 2021, Twitter had 206 million monetizable daily active users worldwide.
Monetizable.
Yeah, so 206
Different,
active, because there'll be loads of people that have signed up and haven't been on there in years. Do you know what I mean? So
More recently,
206.
396.5 million users.
So okay, that's what's that like?
So
5% of the world.
So yeah,
About
it's
30%.
tiny. So if you take $44 billion and divide it by the users and work out how much each user's worth, it doesn't make any sense.
Wait, no, I've got a little important Twitter statistics article here. 396.5 million users. Twitter brought in 3.72 billion in revenue last year in 2020.
Right.
206 million users access Twitter every day. 75%.
How much
Right.
of that is profit though? That revenue.
I don't know. I guess there's like a good chunk of overheads, but not crazy. Like I would guess.
I don't understand all this. It's like
Couple of
venture
boffins.
capitalism, isn't it? When you look at when you hear that like something like Uber's never made a profit and like
Yeah,
Deliveroo's
Netflix
never
runs
made
at a
profit.
loss.
Netflix runs at a loss. It's all this modern thing of
Netflix
money's
runs
not
at a loss.
real. Yeah. It's never
Well, it's
made
always
a profit.
run at a loss, or lately.
It's always running a
Not
loss.
always. It was
Good
it
business,
started on a
guys.
massive loss.
That's probably the guy blowing chewing gum off your pavement. Probably owns Netflix.
Yeah, because they get set up by these venture capitalists who basically get like hundreds of millions of dollars to set up a company, and basically the cost of setting it up and running it and starting it is like I don't understand how it works. It's something to do with the idea is to corner the market in that thing, and then ultimately it ends up becoming profitable. So something
But
like
they
Uber
haven't-
basically that destroys the taxi industry around the world. So it becomes the only option, and then by then it starts making profit.
Then they can
20 years
make
down the
silly
line.
money.
It's a monopoly, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there are a lot
Yeah,
of competition. There's competition for Netflix now, loads, isn't there? Like Now TV, Disney, Amazon.
Yeah. So that's why I think they've started losing viewers for the first time ever, haven't they? They lost a chunk of viewers in the first quarter of this year. So it's all, I don't know, I think it's all falling apart, isn't it? It's all these people, they've spent too much money on things that ultimately are not worth the money. And I think that's sounds like what will happen with Twitter. I imagine if Elon Musk buys it, I reckon he'll end up regretting that one day.
I quite like that he's bought it. I don't know. I'm not sure why though, but we'll see. Hopefully he retweets me.
I do find it funny that he, the funny people sharing funny pictures of him and saying like he's basically buying it because he wants to remove these from Twitter. That would be a funny reason to spend 44 billion to
Just
remove
to
the
block
photos of you when you were
block
bald.
Bill Gates or one of his rivals.
But I don't really care. Like it's that thing. I don't really understand why it's a big deal.
I'm trying not to vape in front of the mic. Sorry, listeners.
Some people hate Elon Musk, but some people absolutely hero worship him and think he's the smartest guy in the world.
I think he's a good guy. He's Asperger's.
He's not the smartest
isn't he?
guy in the world, is he? Like he's basically got enough money to pay the smartest people in the world to do stuff. He's not designing anything. You know what I mean?
I think he's got an engineering brain, though, isn't he? Like he
was an engineer, but he's never designed a spaceship or anything. He's not. He doesn't have anything to do with the actual active engineering of those. So he's literally
obsessed with
the
tunnels,
CEO of
isn't
the
he?
company. Yeah.
His big thing,
So, like,
tunnels
he's,
at the minute. He thinks it's going to solve traffic around the world.
I mean, has he not heard of the underground?
That's the genius.
Exactly.
He did some
Just
tweet
invented
about the highest.
London Underground.
He tweeted something about the highest traffic numbers in the world, like the worst traffic cities, and he was like, anyone fancy a tunnel? And one of them was London, and everyone was like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
We've got loads of derelict ones here as well.
And he said they're weatherproof, and I'm like, they flood
Yeah.
like all the time.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I don't really. But at the same time, as much as I don't have any strong opinion on him, I find it funny when people think like it's the end of the world that he's buying Twitter, as if Twitter was like it's not like
Just
it's a
come off
great
it if you
place
don't
to
like
hang out
it.
already. It's full of fucking divs already. What's going to happen? And nothing's going to change on it. Even if they put
Probably
Trump
pop
back on it, it's
Trump.
not going to change anything.
It's a bit entertaining, I think, Trump on Twitter. It was quite
And
funny.
he was good at it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was that thing of like it felt it is a weird thing. It to sort of be like, oh, I miss when that was the chaos of another country being run by someone like that. It was quite amusing. I wouldn't probably want to live under it. I wouldn't want to lead. I know we've got a donut in Boris, but at least he sort of is. There's an element of intelligence to his his language and everything. Like he feels like I don't think he's fit to lead, but you think he's got the intelligence to lead. Whereas it was funny having Trump, just somebody who was so sensitive to like literally reply to tweets digging him out and stuff when he's meant to be the leader of the free world. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah,
It's funny things.
He's a wild character.
What else is going on? Talk me through the latest in the UK news, weather, sport.
A little bit chilly today. I
It's
don't watch
getting
sport.
sunnier gradually.
Yeah.
Big semi-final Champions League last night. Very exciting.
I saw the result this morning. It was seemed very exciting. It's quite nice as a Tottenham fan to know that we've beaten Man City twice this season.
Oh,
and
wow.
seem to be the only team that can, even though we've been shit for large chunks of the season.
Yeah,
But,
you'll beat Man City and you'll lose to fucking Portsmouth or whatever.
Yeah. That's the way. That's how we roll. And tonight's
Tyson
Liverpool.
Fury
Innit?
uppercutted that geezer on Saturday.
I saw the
didn't
clip. I wanted to watch the fight, and I couldn't find a stream. I was trying to find a stream, and I
I
couldn't get
watched
it in
the
Australia.
next day, yeah.
Right.
On, YouTube, mate.
He fucking cracked them.
He's got to fight Francis Ngannou, who's the UFC champ.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, they're gonna have a hybrid fight. He brought him in the ring
What,
afterwards.
But how are they going to fight? What's going to be the rules?
Well, I don't know exactly the rules yet, but apparently it's going to be a hybrid between. They're going to have UFC gloves, which are like 8 ounce, small,
Yeah.
and swinging it out. But he'll outbox, obviously.
But did you see he brought him in the ring and immediately Tyson Fury was like, if you got a big cock.
Yeah. Francis didn't know what he meant. I
God.
think. It's funny, man. Tyson Fury is
Why is he
funny,
thinking of
though,
adding
isn't
some extra special rules for the fight?
he? Well, we talk about the rules. If you got a big cock,
Loser has to nosh the other one off.
so we're just Queensberry rules and BJ's.
Get confused with BJJ.
BJ and BJJ, mate. That'd be a weird BJ hold.
Yeah, it was definitely I saw the knockout. It was naughty, mate.
Because he clocked him and then he kind of just tipped him over like a game of Jenga.
Yeah, it was a funny one because it
Legs.
wasn't a clean, it wasn't a full clean uppercut, like right underneath. It sort of just glanced across him, but he was already fucked. They should have stopped the fight probably a little bit before, from what I saw.
Yeah.
It was nearly as good as my punch to the punch bag out there. I clocked it, man.
Fucking, I hate those things.
I've never had a go one before. It's really nice to hit, though, isn't it?
I just think they bring a
yeah.
terrible atmosphere to
I
a
know.
venue.
I
know.
don't think they
Next
should
thing,
be put in somewhere you're drinking. That
I
seems
know.
a bit
Yeah.
silly.
I know.
You're just asking for
You know what I
fights.
mean? Exactly.
Just practicing on that and then coming.
Maybe the rationale is if we just let them look at the numbers, they can work out who would win the fight, and then they won't have the fight.
I know.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. There's something about if you clock it and get a really high score and you've had a few beers, part of you's thinking, now let's see what that does to someone's mouth. You know what I mean?
That's it. The jaw can come apart. I know. It's a silly move, isn't it? That's why, live fighting events, there's always a little tussle in the crowd.
Oh,
and that.
loads. I hate that.
Oh,
I worked
yeah,
the bar
yeah.
at a boxing event once. It was awful. Really, really awful.
It's like you're on
some of the
edge,
worst
man.
people, man. I've been to live boxing a few times, and I think people have an assumption about football fans, and you'll meet some fucking eggs at football, but in boxing crowds, man, it is next level, just rough as shit. But
Because the people get caught up in it and they start they think they want to show off. It becomes bravado. They
Especially
wanna,
after a few beers as well.
Yeah.
I've been to some
Yeah,
UFC
yeah.
events, man, and there's always a little setting going on in the beer queue or something.
yeah.
some big hench geezer. I had to sort of take him down. Do you know what I mean?
I don't like watching boxing in pubs even.
No.
Oh, no, I do like. I mean,
in my bed.
I don't. I do like watching boxing in a pub. I mean, I've watched some great boxing matches in pubs, like lock-ins overnight and stuff. It's great.
See, that's nice. I like
Lewis versus Tyson.
Yeah, if you like, if it's a nice crowd in, but if you've got the like basically the people who couldn't afford tickets to the fight, but are that kind of aggro guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like I was over in East London, and what's that place called in Bethnal Green? They do a big
York Hall.
The York Hall, yeah. And I was in the pub after the gig, and they were all coming in there, and you could just feel like it was on edge a little bit. You know what I mean?
It does happen with football as well. I understand why people would feel a bit. You know, when people get on the tube after a football match, it's just packed full of football fans.
I know.
You know, if you're not in the crowd. I can imagine it feeling pretty, tense. Sort of aggressive and tense, and it's a weird one because I get it, but also if I've just come from a football match, I'm also just going to be the worst. I'm the worst version of myself.
Blade in your hand,
6 cans
strapping
of fucking
people on the circle line.
Doing keys of coke on the fucking, Bakerloo station.
That was when I went to the Euro final wearing my Italy top as an Italy fan at Wembley.
Yeah.
Oh, I was very, very stressed about that.
Yeah, that is a bit of a
what Italy v England, yeah.
Yeah, it was intense. I remember I had a funny bit about like people talk about victim blaming, but when I told people I got like pushed around a bit on the tube for wearing an Italy top, they were like, "Well, it's your fucking fault."
Change your top. Change your top, you traitor.
Yeah, but I suppose it's not rugby. You can't be hanging out with the rival fans. That's the one thing. That's what I quite like about football to a certain degree. Is at least it is I find that rugby thing of like, oh, everyone's sitting next to each other. Oh, it was a lovely day out. Just sat next to a bunch of the rival fans. Like, fuck off, mate.
Yeah,
that feels like you've not invested enough in it.
Yeah, I'm a Celtic because you need the right level of investment. It's a very difficult balance where like you want to care about it enough that it matters and it's exciting to watch, but you don't want it to like absolutely ruin your week if your team loses.
No, and you also don't want it to get to a point if you lose, you then act unacceptably. You should be upset.
People in A&E.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't knock out a stranger because you lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone you know, absolutely lay into them. But...
A member of your family, the weakest one.
The runt.
The runt of the litter gets sparked.
That's the perfect balance. You've got to really invest so that it's amazing to be part of it.
Yeah.
But then once you've lost, just you've got to just write it off. Allow yourself to be annoyed for a little bit and then put it behind you.
That's why I love the UFC, though, because obviously I have favourites when I'm watching and stuff. I want people to win, but sometimes it's just good to see who the best is as well. You don't have that in football, do you? Like, let's see who the best team is. Like, it's like a religion, isn't it?
I guess but that happens when like everyone sits down to watch the World Cup final, even if their team isn't in it.
Yeah. If your team's not in it, it's a lot easier, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Your team's in it, you fucking... I found it quite stressful watching the Euros. Like, I got into it, man.
Everyone did.
Yeah.
I don't even like football. I'm one of them fucking wanker fans. I need to go and buy an England top.
Every 4 years, you just show up.
That's
to
what I
those
do.
matches.
Yeah, and only if they're doing all right. Like if they're doing shit, I absolutely don't care. Just don't watch it.
Oh no, I never liked football, mate.
It is easier for me afterwards when they lose in the semis. I'm like, okay, back to don't not caring.
It's funny how you can just switch it off, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it took about an hour.
That's mad.
That's bordering on sociopathic. Just turn them emotions off.
Then just back to cold sociopathic stare.
Yeah, you just do that thing. It's like one of them films where you see somebody come out of character almost, where you're just sort of like, oh no, and you just turn and go, just walk off.
Like a psycho. Walk to my car and my hand like Kevin Spacey. Start straightening.
Have you ever been to any sport? Do you ever go to actually live sport?
Who, me?
Yeah. I've never known.
No,
you
I've
say
been
you've
to the
live
UFC.
sport.
I've been to the UFC about 7 times.
Oh wow!
How have you?
I've been in
realise that.
Nottingham, the O2 a few times, Wembley Arena, maybe 5 times. I went to a Cage Rage one, which is like a UK promotion in 2005.
Some dog
Ring-
fighting.
It was pretty. I got it for my birthday off my
Right.
then girlfriend, and we got ringside seats. It was good, man.
Oh, nice.
That's when Alex Reed was fighting actually back then.
Oh yeah.
So I saw him
Before he was getting pegged by Jordan.
just before, yeah.
I was to cheer him up afterwards after he lost.
Did she peg him? Yeah.
Apparently that was a rumor that went around that he liked getting pegged by her.
We'll get him on the
Which is,
podcast and throw that one at him.
I went to
It's,
see the
yeah.
WWE recently at Wembley Arena.
Oh, that'd be fun.
It was great crack. I've never watched wrestling on TV or
How come you went there?
Oh, right.
My friend Aaron is a big fan. Aaron McCann, comedian.
Was he
as
6
well.
years old?
It
My
is
best
fun. I
mate
find
is
it really
9.
really weird how there's a lot of grown up comedians who are really interested.
CMB loves it. Christopher MacArthur Boyd. He
Well,
loves
Yeah,
it.
Sean loves it.
Sean
John
loves it.
Hastings. Sean
Mark
loves it.
Simmons.
There's loads that love it.
I can't understand. Like, I can't get my head around it. Like, why?
I struggle, like, because I loved it when I was a kid, so I loved watching Hulk Hogan and all that, but I cannot now give a shit about it at all.
I mean, they're impressive kind of athletes jumping around, but they're not. And even if you say to these adults who are into it, like, it's not real, they don't want to hear it. They kind of know it. They know it ain't real.
No, well,
Yeah,
but they won't
course.
discuss that.
They do discuss it. So this is what I found interesting. I went to watch and I had no real interest in it, but I was like, it was so exciting. The production value is so high, like you get really into it.
Right.
And then there's interesting things where like if they do like a kick to the face, which obviously isn't a kick to the face, but like the fans will talk about, oh, he didn't sell that very well. That move didn't connect. It
Right.
didn't look like it was real.
So it's like
Why
watching
don't
a
they go-
play or something, or a film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It's
bit
like being a
wasn't well
mad
acted.
boxing fan and then like watching Rocky instead of a real boxing fight. Do you know what I mean?
I do that actually sometimes.
I do that.
I do love
I do
Rocky.
that too.
Ron Funches, do you know American comedian Ron Funches?
Yes.
He loves wrestling and he has a bit about how people go like, oh, but like, you know, like they're all just like mates after and they like hang out together. And he's like, yeah, that's why I like it. I like that I can watch
Yes.
the thing and then they're all just like pals and nobody's getting hurt.
It's
and
not a
nobody's, like,
sport then, is it? It's more of a kind of
a
performance.
performance, yeah,
It's
it's-
choreographed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, go
Even
to
then,
the
like
ballet,
with
mate.
sport, weirdly, there was a thing. There was a picture this week came out of Harry Kane, who plays for Spurs, and Eric Dyer, one of our players. They played golf with John Terry, and like I think John Terry put a photo on Instagram of like Harry Kane, and they were like, "Oh, a fun day out playing golf," and loads of
Yeah.
Tottenham fans were like, "What the fuck? This is disgusting. Why are you playing with John Terry?" Like, because we hate the fans, we hate John Terry for like for loads of reasons, but. You know, he was like Chelsea's fucking main man for so many years.
Yeah.
Just when they were always beating us and we hated him, and like, but I find it weird that to expect the players to not, at the moment on the pitch, I want you to absolutely muller them, whatever. But I don't care if they're hanging out after the match. You know what I mean? I think they're allowed to be friends with other footballers.
Well, it's like lawyers in court. They can be battling a mad murder, like Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. The lawyers will go for lunch together. It's just like a
Yeah.
chess game. It's just work. It's weird, isn't it?
I understand that. I find that. I found it really weird the way a lot of Tottenham fans were acting like, it would that in any way that would impact how they play on the pitch when it obviously won't. Do you know what I mean? They're just
Yeah, it's their job. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. I think people forget that sometimes about sports people. It is a job as well, man. They expect.
Although you get that.
We're fans are meant to be the ones that get overly emotional. Obviously, the players, you want to see emotion, but I also want them to be functioning human beings. When they're not doing it.
You get that even with UFC. Did you ever see those UFCs where they're like absolutely leathering each other and they take a moment and like high five, being like, "This is a great fight, isn't it?"
Yeah, well, they're selling. The more that they the more bad vibes there are, the more tickets they sell. So
Yeah.
they sometimes it's more real. When they used to be mates, it's quite nice, and then they.
Well, I found that in the
and-
build up to Fury and Dillian White, like there was quite a nice build up to it. It was quite rare to see, and I really liked it. They didn't try and do that because I think people wouldn't have believed it if they tried to make it too eggy and like. Because I think people would have known that actually there's a lot of mutual respect. They like each other. That why fake it? Do you know what I mean? Like I always find it. Yeah, I find it funny when they try and over egg the sort of pudding in it.
Yeah. I'm like it with other comics on the bill.
Yeah.
Just take
Standing just before they go on stage, you just go right up in their face and just lean in,
kicking their foot as they walk to the stage. Going on and just taking apart their set.
To be a bit of that.
Doing an impression of them afterwards.
But it was definitely a bit more like that back in, I remember when I started out, you used to get some shit as the open spot. There was none of this, like, overly supportive. Like, no one would talk to you before you went on. In that comedy store dressing room, no one would even make eye contact with you. You had to sit on your own. And then it wasn't until you went on and proved yourself. Yeah, you had to prove yourself on stage. I remember Mike Wilmot didn't give me the time of day, and he was like one of my favourite comedians. I remember being really like sad that he just wouldn't even talk to me. And then I came off stage having had a really good gig, and suddenly he was like, "That was a great, kid." And I was like, I get it. You've got to sort of earn your stripes.
Yeah. There was a lot. I remember the compere at Battersea Jongleurs. Do you remember that fucking room? And I was doing about like a little 6 minutes or something, but he wrapped the mic lead tight around the mic stand. So I got
Who was
on.
it? Can you say it? No, you don't want to say it.
You know what? I can't even remember.
Right.
I can't even remember who it was. Like at the time.
Some of them Jongleurs compares though were fucking. Some of them were bad comedians and just not nice. Yeah, some of them are not nice. And I don't mind I didn't mind being in a dressing room as an open spot where the old guard weren't friendly with me until I proved that I was gonna be good. Because to them they might have, up to that point they probably met fucking 1,000 open spots a year and only a handful of them ever go on to be professionals. So they're probably just thinking I can't bother to make friends with somebody I'll only see once. You know what I mean? There might be an element of that. So I never held it against any of them for just not talking to me until they trusted me. But what I didn't like was sort of, you'd sometimes get a compere be really shitty with you. Like I remember doing Camden Jongleurs, my first ever open spot there, and I went on an absolute ripper.
I didn't speak to
you. But yeah, the compere. I mean, I could say his name. His name was Drew Barr. I don't think he does stand up anymore. But he went on and he did his stuff, and then he brought on the opening act who didn't have a very good gig. And then I went on and had a really good gig. It was quite a tough night, so I think I had a sweet spot, and I just caught a wave and had a good gig. And I'd had the best gig of the night at that point. And he brought on that act after me, and then came up to me and went. He went, "Oh, good work," and I went, "Oh, cheers, man! It was really fun. It was just fucking." And I went, "Oh man, I loved it. It was such a really fun." I basically was just an excitable open spot, and he went to me, "All right, calm down, mate. You only had one gig." Like that. I was like, "Oh, fucking hell!" I literally was just celebrating as an open spot that I've just had a really good gig in front of like 300 people. I wasn't even celebrating. I was literally just saying how much I'd enjoyed it. And he went,
"I don't know him,
down.
but he sounds like a prick."
It was just like I think I don't know. He was just maybe he just had, he was. I don't think he did it for much longer after that. Maybe he just hit the end of his tether with comedy. He didn't want to do it and didn't like meeting somebody who was like eager and keen. Do you know what I mean? And actually excited to be there.
I remember getting that off older acts, like, oh man, they're like trying to get in my head, and I could tell they were trying to get in my head. And I'd just be like, "It's all right, I'm just gonna smash it, mate." And get on a bomb. Just gonna die. I remember when I bombed hard once, man, and I had to wait until the end. Martin Davis was on, And fucking hell, I had to sit there and like I'm driving all the other acts home afterwards.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, it was a brutal. It was like a moment.
You just
of,
want to drive
shit.
it into the central reservation, innit?
Yeah.
Take
mow
all
out
the
our
witnesses
family.
out.
Just start finding all the people in the crowd going straight through their garden. But it was brutal, man. It was like one of those moments where like, oh, so you want to be a comic? This is the bad side of it. You got to stand on stage to silence.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you guys cognitive? Because now you guys are the closers at shows and stuff. Like,
The best in the world, man.
Are you like conscious of that when you have open spots coming in to do spots?
I just try and shag them.
Yeah, you've really overcorrected from being rude.
I'm just extra
Julian's
nice.
so nice. He just eats
So
out
do you want
that
to do
bumhole.
some writing together tomorrow? I think I've got a few ideas for some bits for you. That's such a
God.
creepy move, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd love
Do you want to do
I'd
some
love to just,
writing together?
I'd love to give you some feedback on those bits of yours.
Yeah.
I really
I've
like
actually
them.
got.
That's what I think
I'm at the Travel Lodge. I'm always nice, man. I'm never like I wouldn't even like never. I I take the piss and that, but I think it makes people feel comfortable. Hopefully, if you don't, ain't my problem. Not really. But I thought I would never do that. I had it done to me, and I don't think it's a good look. Or I don't know. I just didn't really.
No. I'm always very nice to new acts.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really hang around with people. For certain gigs, you're in a green room if it's for a while, aren't you? But Top Secret, you just kind of rock up and do it and go. But
because I know, like, so Kevin Hart has been doing a lot of gigs in Belfast recently, and he is in a separate green room to everybody else. He won't like talk to anyone. He won't do whatever. And
that's what I'm like.
But I think that's very strange.
Choked by the club. The club put you in one on your own just for the safety of the other acts.
That's what I'm like at Vauxhall.
Julian just sits up here with his headphones on until the kicks.
No eye contact.
Oh, fuck.
But Kevin Hart might be working on stuff, like he's going through his stuff. He's obviously new stuff he's doing or whatever. I mean,
there is that thing. There's some people I think who would do it in a rude way, but sometimes there are comics that are just so like before a gig they are so in their headspace. Like
Simon Brodkin's like that.
Simon Brodkin, exactly who I was going to say.
Yeah.
Simon Brodkin is somebody who just likes to work on his stuff until the moment he goes on stage.
Yeah, you
so
see him just stuck,
often he will
his laptop
sit on his
open,
own.
like
Yeah. So whereas it's not a rude thing. It's just he's an uber professional who just wants to get as much work, homework done before he goes on.
It's fair enough, man.
Yeah, I think somebody got annoyed at me for ignoring them at like open mics. They were like, "You just talk to the people that you're friends with," and I'm like, "Yeah."
And then you walked off.
Yeah, they're my friends. I actually want to talk to my friends.
Why would someone call you out on that? Like, what?
Well, because it was mad because they were talking about when they'd come and done my gig that I'd booked them for. They were like, "You just check my name off," and then like we're doing, and I was like, "Yeah, flyering, filming, emceeing, like the whole like." It's difficult. I can't just talk to you.
Yeah. Don't be so sensitive, people, man.
I know.
That's comedians, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Pricks, mate.
Yes, sadly it is. Fucking bunch of pussy holes, man.
Bunch
Every
of wet
last
wipes.
one of them.
How's Australia going though? Because it's been 2 weeks. You've been away. You missed your first ever episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's been very fun so far. The actual gigs have been fun. Shows have been good, and it's just there's been some, as people will know, I was off last week, but there's been some further illness issues that are actually seem to be all right now. So I think, and I was thinking of rushing back home last week, and actually it looks like he's all right. Like it's pretty. it wasn't as bad as we thought it was. So I think I can hold out for another few weeks before coming home, which is nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
You had
yeah.
that funny Instagram story of you sitting behind a curtain as people came into your...
That was my green room for the whole of Melbourne. Like, there was no green room. It was just like I literally sit behind a curtain on a little stool while everyone comes in. And there's days where I can hear them talking about, every night it'd be like, they'd be talking about, oh, don't sit in the front, you'll be able to speak to us. And I'm like, I'm fucking right here, you donuts.
Stick your head out the curtain. Let's chat to
Yeah, I should have. It was that. Yeah, it was really fun. It was that funny thing where I had a really nice run. I had no dickheads in it at all. I had one couple in about a week before the end who were a little bit lively, but they weren't a problem at all. And then on the last night, I had a couple of dicks in, and it was like, on the end of the run, to have a couple of fucking annoying people in. Yeah. It was not a good. It's still a fine and fun show, but it just got in my head a bit because I was like, oh, this isn't how you're meant to end a run, by just getting annoyed with a couple of pissed up women.
Are you glad to be in Sydney now?
Yeah, I think so. It's nice. I mean, it's weird doing a month-long run at a festival and then going straight into another week at another festival. That's like doing Edinburgh and then having to rush and do straight into another week of another festival. I feel knackered. And
what's this room like? Is it the same, similar vibe, both festivals?
Yeah, I mean, a nice little sort of studio at a theatre. So, and I've been doing some nice sort of galas this week, like big theatre shows to promote the Sydney Comedy Festival. So yeah, it's really.
And where in Sydney is the show then? Whereabouts in Sydney?
I'm doing the studio at the Enmore Theatre, which is like a lovely, big, famous theatre in Newtown. So yeah,
nice.
They've got like 2 other studio rooms in there, so I'm doing one of them.
You're going to hit the beach and all that?
I might do the Coogee to Bondi walk tomorrow, if I get time.
What, on your own?
Yeah.
How long's that?
It takes about 4 an hour and a half. It's a nice little...
It takes 3 weeks.
I'm setting off in the morning, so... but yeah, if you don't hear from me, I'm dead in the water.
You a donkey. You're taking a camel.
Don't hear from me, I've been eaten by fucking coyotes.
That'd be nice, though, wouldn't it? Because it's winter there now, is it?
Going a bit funny. It's not winter. It's it's getting a bit drizzly, but it's still not cold or anything. People here think it's cold, but it's like 20 degrees in the day. But it's just a bit overcast, so they're all fucking moaning.
It's better than here.
Yeah, and there's been some wicked weather. Melbourne's the best weather I've ever seen it during the festival. Normally, that is when Melbourne starts getting a bit cold and drizzly, but actually, it's been like proper beach weather most days. It's been fucking wicked. I got sunburnt once during the whole thing, and just because I've just misread how strong the sun was and just went out for like 3 hours with no sun cream.
I want to get some of that SPF on you, man.
I should, but we got to
bring back some cancer.
That's what I'm bringing back, mate. I'm bringing back a boomerang and some skin cancer.
Went to Australia. All I got was this lousy cancer.
Been there, done that, got the cancer.
It is quite common here. Skin cancer is really common here. Like to the point where
my
it's
dad had it quite a few times. Like, yeah, you just have it cut out and that's it.
I know it feels. I don't like the fact that here it's sort of almost like just a minor, illness. I don't want any cancer at all. I don't have to go and get some cancer cut out.
Do you think it's the big hole in the ozone layer that's doing that?
Is that real? I remember hearing that years ago, and I never knew if it was real. It must be. I mean, if that is real, that must be the case. Or is that what causes the skin cancer? Because it's weird. People don't get skin cancer everywhere else. Like white people in South Africa, I don't think are all getting skin cancer, are they? I mean, this is a Pandora's box I don't want to open, to be honest.
I think they're all just getting shot on their farms.
We've done 59 minutes. Let's get into...
So I heard. I watched a documentary. I don't know if it's one-sided. Just one
aside quickly. That is one funny thing. I did see somebody winding people up on Twitter talking about how Elon Musk's the first African-American to own a social media company. And it is such a funny wind up because obviously people have just gone like, no. Oh God. It is one of them ones where if you did that joke on Twitter, you're like, just mute the replies now. Don't ever open that thread again, man. Just let it be. It's like throwing a grenade over your shoulder. Just walk, man. You nailed it. Just walk away.
Don't look at the explosion. Just walk.
Yeah. You look like Antonio Banderas in Desperado, man. Just walk while the explosion happens behind you.
Just walk off into the sunset.
You're just a silhouette.
Just put that tweet in the box, walking into the warehouse like at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. But all right, we should wrap it up then. It's been lovely, good fun to see you both, and
Good to see you.
And we'll be back next week. What do we need to do? Admin, thank our patrons.
Thanks to our new patrons, and our new TikTok followers.
Yeah, we got some TikTok stuff going on now.
What's it? TVI underscore clips.
Yes.
At TVI underscore
clips. I'm actually, when we, oh shit, I don't know if this will go out before, maybe. I'm doing a gig that is streamed on TikTok while I'm here in Sydney. So I'll put details out online if it's not.
So if you're up at 3 in the morning.
Get them to tag,
what would it be?
tag
No, it wouldn't be. It'll be like, I'll try. It'll be like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. here. So that'll be like at 10 a.m. back in the UK. So it'll be available to watch. I'll try and find out
universal
the
credit.
But yeah, and patrons, if you haven't signed up to Patreon, if you sign up this week, we had a very funny Patreon catch up 2 days ago.
Got pretty filthy.
It was disgusting. There was stuff about enemas and
Delicious.
what is it, fecal implants and stuff. It was gross.
That is patreon.com/wearetvi. Boom.
Yes.
Sign up. Little as £2 a month. Extra episodes.
Give it a share, give it a rating, all that business. It's just thanks for listening.
And we're gonna do a patron get together soon, aren't we?
Yes.
Nice little Sunday midday affair.
Week.
Yeah.
So we'll work that out. But other than that, thanks Vittorio on the desk.
Thanks for having me.
And
thanks to Sergio. Sergi. Sorry, Sergi is shadowing.
Oh yeah, Carl didn't know that. Maybe.
Oh, I had no idea there was another person in the room. Oh shit! What's going on? You've had a fourth person the whole time. Oh my god! Hey man. Sorry to hear all that.
He's one of our patrons. This is what you get. It's tier 7.
That's just one below the one where Carl changes his name.
Yeah. But you're just paying. You have to become an audio engineer.
You have to do the tech.
You got the 3-year sound degree.
We fund it.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks,
and
everybody.
we'll see you next week. Okay.
Bye.